Welcome into this week's edition of the Co-Lin Coaches Show. We're all about basketball this week, and joining me first is our head women's basketball coach, Dr. Britta Stevens. Coach, thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
And Coach, we're going to go back all the way back 2 weeks now, way back to going to the road, going up to South Ark, a game that you were a little bit worried about, said it felt like a little bit of a trap because it was right before the break. You worried about the girls looking forward to it. You look at this final, and clearly there was there really wasn't anything to be worried about. You beat South Ark 77-43, and your thoughts overall on just a dominating performance out of your girls before that break?
Yeah, I was very worried about this game because it was the last game before Thanksgiving break. Everybody's looking forward to going home and spending some time with their family. We've been together every day since August, so as much as we like each other, we do get tired of each other and get ready to go home and have some alone time or just some distance from each other. I was worried about this because South Ark came here and did not shoot the ball well at all. In fact, they shot it extremely poorly for what their percentages show, and I had gotten film on them in Holmes, and they beat Holmes at their place. So I was very worried about this game. We did a really good job. We got there early. We got there in plenty of time to get shots off, and we played really well. We shot the ball really well. Early on in the game, we were a little cold. We started taking the ball to the basket. We got a lot of offensive rebounds, and were able to get putbacks. And so as the game flowed, we got the ball in the paint, and were able to get kick-out threes, and we did do a really good job of shooting the ball. So played really well. Overall, I think everybody on our bench played really well in that game, and I think that depth is something that helped us be successful.
So you look at the line score and the box score, and we talk about it every time. If you win 4 quarters, you're definitely going to win the game. You didn't win all 4, but you won 3 out of 4, and that's kind of how you ran away with it. The first quarter went to South Ark. It was a 13-11 first quarter, so they held that margin, and then you kind of played that lockdown defense in the second and third, outscored them 23-7 and 19-7, and then outscored them 24-16 in the fourth, and that's how you get to that 77-43 line. And you look at individuals, Cookie Wilkinson did what Cookie Wilkinson does, 32 points, 12 rebounds, a double-double out of Cookie. Anytime you get that out of her, you like your odds of being able to win that game.
Yeah, I did think we were very good defensively. Even in the first quarter where they led, we did a good job of, because they do shoot the three so well, our key to victory was make them put it on the floor and shoot pull-ups, and we did that early, and they made some tough ones, but as the game went on, that wore on them because that's not what they're used to doing, and we were able to get stops. Cookie Wilkinson has been outstanding for us all season and continues to be that way. We need her to be good for us to be good, and even on the nights when she hasn't been great, she's still been good, and she's done a good job of making those around her look good. One night she was struggling. She couldn't make shots, and I said, how do you get a lot of your points? And she said, I rebound. And I said, well, go rebound the ball. Because if you look at her stat line consistently, she's averaging a double-double in points and rebounds, and a lot of times she's close to a triple-double because of her number of assists or steals. So she played really, really well, and she was kind of our catalyst. We had a lot of other people who played well. Imani Key, I thought she had a good game. Jamiria Robinson had 16, 17 rebounds in this game, and that's the stat line that doesn't always get highlighted, but those 17 rebounds that she gets, how many extra opportunities does that give us as a team and allow us to shoot it in extra time? So if we miss it, we know we've got somebody down there who's getting it back, and eventually those rebounds are going to translate into points for her.
So you look at it, you mentioned it, Imani with 12 points. She also had 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals. So an overall really solid game out of Imani. You said Jay Robinson, only 6 points, but 17 rebounds, 10 of those defensive, 7 of those offensive. So 7 second chance opportunities for you there. You mentioned that. And in a week where Jay she's scored a little bit more in this one, probably would have taken away those Player of the Week honors for the conference, but you got to give her a nod. She had 40-plus rebounds in the week in those 3 games, and close to averaging a double-double. Had double-doubles in the first 2 and just came up a little bit short in this one. You also got to mention Cam Pruitt. She had 6 points and 10 rebounds, right. So she was very floating with a double-double again, and Kylan Bell with 6 points as well. Kirsten Haynes with 6. Z Hatton had 4, Tyra Johnson had 4, Maddie Mitchell with 1. So that's where you get all of those. Just a really dominating performance by everybody, and nearly everybody on your team got to score in that one.
Yeah, and that's nice to be able to go into a break where you have a victory that big and you have everybody on your team is able to have a good game and be successful. It leaves you with a good feeling, and it allows you to go and enjoy your break instead of being a little angry or upset when you don't play well. So that was nice. Our kids needed a break. I've scheduled a lot of games. We can play 30 games, and we're playing 28. Once we start playing, I like to play. And we're going to play. Wednesday, Saturday, and then we're going to play Monday, Thursday, Saturday before we go home for the Christmas break just because we need to play. And so that was a good thing for us. We had played 9 or 10 games in a matter of 2 or 3 weeks. That week, the week before Thanksgiving, we played 3 games in 4 days. So we got 3 wins. That was the first week this season that we were able to go 3-0, go undefeated. And that's something we've talked about all season. Let's take it 1 game at a time, and let's take it 1 week at a time and try to go undefeated each week. And we were able to do that before we went home for the break. So I was really proud of that.
And now we look at the game that you played last night. You took nearly 2 weeks off. I know you brought him back for some practice, but nearly 2 weeks off from any kind of game competition. You got to be a little scared as a head coach, but you go over to Delgado, you get a big nearly 10-point win, 82-73. Your thoughts on how well your team played against the Lady Dolphins in this one?
Yeah, I was a little nervous. This was kind of a trap game, as I would call it, because it is our first game back from the break. We beat them so badly here. This was the game where we scored 101 points, and everybody was just outstanding. We shot it outstanding, and so I was worried about that. I was worried about them going down there and just not taking it seriously, and we did not do that. We went down there. We were very focused. We were a little rusty because it was our first real game in about 2 weeks, and then we had practiced. We came back and practiced 4 or 5 days, but practice is not the same as game competition, and not only is it not the same as game competition, it's not the same as going on the road and trying to beat someone on their home court. That Delgado team, even though they have not won many games, they've got pieces and they've got talent, and if they continue to grow, they're going to be a much better team than probably what their record says. I thought we came out and played really well early. The first and second quarters, we played really well. We shot the ball unbelievably well early in the game. I think we were like 62% from the 3 at halftime, which is a great number. But also as a coach, when you look at those stats at halftime, you immediately go, there's no way we can continue to shoot it at this pace. So the third quarter, there was a big lull. I think we only scored 7 or 8 points in that third quarter. I was disappointed in that, and I was not very pleased with our defensive effort. We did not guard anybody. We kept trading baskets with them, and that's what I told them. I said, we can't keep trading baskets. We've got to push the lead. We've got to be the better team who gets defensive stops. Late in the game, in that fourth quarter, we finally were able to do that, but there was a long time there where I wasn't sure if we were going to be able to do it. We led for most of the game. Eventually, they tied it in the third. I don't think they ever took the lead. We were able to sustain that, but we did not play very well in that third quarter.
You look at the box score in this one again, a game where you won 3 out of the 4 quarters, so that's a recipe for success every time. 24-16 in the first, 19-15 in the second. They won the third quarter, outscored you 23-15, and then in the fourth quarter, you turned around, outscored them 24-19. And then you look at the individual lines again, another game where Cookie Wilson drops 30, 33 and 6 for her, 5 steals or 6 rebounds. Again, flirted with a double-double and a triple-double. You had 4 players in this one, 4 of your 5 starters, all in double digits. Cam Pruitt had 18 points, 8 rebounds, so again, flirting with a double-double. Imani Key, 13 points, 5 assists, and Kyzar Bell, 11 points. That may be her highest so far in a Co-Lin uniform. And honestly, when you look at a player like Kyzar, who's so used to having so much success, I think it's got to be a little bit hard as a coach to tell her, hey, we only need like 10 to 12 points from you per game right now, and we'll be okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the college game has been a transition for her, and it's a transition for all of them because you're taking a player. Everyone on my roster was the best player on their team, and they played the entire game, and they were used to scoring all the points for their team. So you have to bring them into this college environment and go, okay, we need you to play this role and be this person. And so Ko-Lin has done a good job of embracing that point guard role and sometimes not scoring enough for me. Sometimes I want her to score more. Last night, unfortunately, late in the game, we needed defensive stops, and Maddie Mitchell ended up being the point that finished the game for us because she's a little bit better defender because she has a little more speed than Ko-Lin. So late in the game, Ko-Lin didn't get a lot of run because that last group was clicking. I didn't even realize she had 11 points. I know we shot it so well early. I can remember her making 2 or 3 threes. Again, Imani, you said she was close to double-double, 5 assists. I didn't realize that. So I don't always look at the stats very well, especially after a win. I kind of glance over. My new cookie played well. But I think, Jay Robinson, her stat line, I don't even know if she scored a point, but she had some huge defensive stops and some huge defensive rebounds in the fourth quarter. In fact, she picked up her 4th foul with about 5 minutes left, and Coach Ray looks at me and she said she's got 4. And I said, I know, I'm fixing to ride her. I'm fixing to let her finish the game if she can because I felt like we needed her so much for the rebounding. And, she's a little different player than Tyra Johnson. Tyra Johnson is is longer, but Jay is more mobile and can guard on the perimeter, and we needed her to be able to guard on the perimeter. So we left her in the game, and she fortunately did not foul out and was able to help us get a win.
Yeah, Jay, no points in this one, but did have 5 rebounds. And I think as a coach, yeah, it's kind of nice to be able to see, hey, I'm going to trust my instinct. I'm going to see if she can do it. And she came through in this situation, so it kind of builds that trust where I know she can do it. So maybe later in the year when we need her in another high situation or high pressure situation, you trust in her to be able to pull that through for you. Mm-hmm. So you also look, Kaylee Johnson with 6, Amari Barnes with 1. That's how you get to the 82. So again, another game where your starters contributed, your bench contributed. Big win for the Lady Wolves, especially with taking nearly 2 weeks off, as we mentioned. We look ahead. We've got a couple coming up before we'll be able to talk to you again. The first one will be this Saturday up against Southern Shreveport. A little bit different feel for this one. The girls are going to play second. We're not used to that happening in Mullen Gym. Usually when we have that doubleheader, it's always girls first, guys second. Guys are going to play at noon. Y'all are going to play at 2. What do we know about the Lady Jags in this one? I know that's a team we saw a couple of weeks ago. Struggled a little bit, kind of struggled in that one against them at that neutral site. But welcoming over to the friendly confines of Mullen has to have you excited about that one.
Yeah, I'm excited about that one. I've never played after the men, so I'm really excited about that too. I'm excited to be able to kind of sit and watch them and relax and enjoy. I don't know what that's like. I told Coach Sanders, I said, I don't know how well I'm going to deal with that because I've never played second. We always have the 60-minute warm-up and are used to playing first, so I think that'll be nice. I think it'll be nice for our kids. We play a lot of individual games, single games early in the year. So last night when I'm watching the guys, it's the first time I've seen the guys play all season, and I know them and I know their faces and I know their names, but because I don't get to watch them very often, I don't know who plays a lot for them and stuff. So that'll be nice too that we get to sit and watch them. I think it's a Saturday afternoon game. I think that's awesome for our fans. Awesome for our parents. We have some kids who live, 2 hours away. So sometimes on a Tuesday night, it's hard for mom and dad to get here and grandparents and that kind of stuff. So we love this Saturday afternoon game, especially a Saturday afternoon home game. If you look at our schedule, we are road warriors and we have been road tested. We've had very few home games this fall. That's just kind of how the schedule fell. I don't love that. I'd love to have more home games, but I think down the road and in conference play, that's going to make us better. If you look at some of our opponents, they are buying home wins. They're having 4 and 5 tournaments and lots of people coming to them and they're winning and they're 8-0 and that's great, but they're not going to be road tested like we are. And I think our schedule has prepared us for success, especially with 9 freshmen who are having to learn how different the college game is. So, excited to have a home game. Did not play well against Shreveport at Southwest. Beat them 10 or so, I think was the final score. I went back and watched that game last night actually on the bus coming back, and we just did not play well. We turned it over way too much. We took way too many early quick shots, and we did a horrible job in transition defense. That's kind of where Shreveport gets their points, is in transition and off the run, and we didn't do a good job of picking them up in transition. So that's definitely something that will be on the practice plan today. I think being in the confines of Mullen will make a difference. I also think that Southern Shreveport game was in a tournament at Southwest. We had played LSU Eunice the day before and had gotten a 1 or 2 point victory, and then we had to turn around and come back the very next day and play again the very next day. So that is hard. It's hard to play 2 games back to back. So I think our legs will be more fresh. We've shot it well in Mullen from the jump, from the tip this season. So let's hope that continues on Saturday.
And then we look a little bit ahead. Normally we go game by game, and I know that's how you like it, but we'll look at that game that you've got now, a game that's been moved up. So fans, if you're watching, that we're not misspeaking here. This game has been changed. We just haven't been able to publicize it yet. This is a game against Baton Rouge on the road this upcoming Monday at 5. A game that was originally scheduled for December 16th. Got to move it up a week because of some cancellations on Baton Rouge's schedule. But what do you know about the Lady Bears in that one? A team that you've gone over there and played at their place in a tournament, but you didn't get to play them. What do you know about that bunch heading into that one?
To be completely honest with you, not very much. I know what Coach Paula Lee has done in the past, and I know kind of what to expect from her as a coach, but I don't know much about her roster. I know her returning. She has a returning player who was her leading scorer last year, a post kid who was a really good player who is back, but I think she's got a lot of new faces on her roster too. I think they're much improved from last season, just looking at their record. I've got film, but I haven't watched it. I'm not big on looking ahead. Let's take them one at a time and try to prepare one at a time. So, my focus last night was let me watch Shreveport and figure out what we needed to do in practice today. We did need to move this game. Paula had some games get canceled, and she was playing December 2nd and then wasn't playing us until December 16th. And she called me and she was like, Coach, what can we do? I'm fine with us playing on the 9th. We're playing a lot of games in a short amount of time, but I like that. I like to play. And so it helped her, and I was happy to do that. I think our kids were kind of happy to have it moved. It was going to be a Monday afternoon at 2 o'clock game on the 16th. Now it's a Monday at 5 p.m. game. So still a game where fans can get to, and I think that'll be a good deal. Again, I think it'll be a road test for us. I think she's a much improved team. And so us going down there and being focused, it's so the last week of the season we're playing we've got exams, and we're trying to do community service, and we're trying to do a Christmas party, and we're trying to win games. And so there's a lot of things going on at this time of year, and we have to try to keep them focused. But we also want them to be involved in those things that are going on campus. And so there's a balance there for that student athlete and that college athlete, and we try to keep a good balance and somehow not lose my mind when we're not focused in practice or playing up to our potential. So it is challenging, but I think it's worth it for them.
All right, so lots of good things happening for the Lady Wolves. Coach, thanks for joining me. Always look forward to talking to you. Got just a few games left here before we'll take our Christmas break, 4 to be exact. The first 2 coming up this Saturday at home against Southern Shreveport at 2 p.m. following the guys' game that'll be at noon. And then on the road at Baton Rouge on Monday, Lady Wolves riding a 5-game win streak after Wednesday night's win against Delgado, 82-73. Stick with us through the break. Joining me next is head men's basketball coach David Sanders. We'll talk about the couple of games that the guys have played this week and then preview the one they've got this Saturday against Southern Shreveport.
At Copiah Lincoln Community College, you'll find a family of instructors and staff who truly care about your success. And not to mention a really fun college experience too. Co-Lin was recently ranked number 1 in the state for student success. So whether you need to start or finish your college degree, take classes on one of our 3 campuses or online, Co-Lin is the place to be.
Welcome back in. Thanks for sticking with us through the break. And joining me now, as promised, is our head men's basketball coach, David Sanders. Coach, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
And Coach, obviously off to a pretty good start for the week. You come back after beating Phillips 89-73 that Tuesday before the Thanksgiving break. You come back this past Monday. You've gotten a couple of wins already. First one against Baton Rouge, 87-68. Your thoughts on that one going on the road after having, about 10 days off. Again, you brought the guys back for some practice, but it's got to be a little rough to come back and immediately play the day after such a long break. But your thoughts on how well the guys played?
I think, like I said, the breaks kill us, a lot of times with the guys, coming back and trying to get back in that mode. There's no simulation for college basketball. So, no matter how much you think you're working out or doing whatever, it's always going to be an adjustment period. And I thought the guys came back and worked hard. And kind of got ready to play, and thought for the most part played a good game.
You look at the box score in this one. You outscored them 43-35 in the first half, and really kept them at arm's length the rest of the game. 44-33 in the second half. That's how you get to 87-68. And then you look at the personal line scores. 3 guys in double digits. We talk about it all the time. When you get 3 to 4 guys in double digits, it's a good recipe for success and to get a win. Devin Bates led the way offensively, led all scorers with 28 points. Also had 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. The guy that had the big performance of the night was Javian Watkins. JJ had a double-double, 21 points, 10 assists, 3 steals, and then Prince Ojukwu flirted with a double-double, 14 points, 8 rebounds, 4 steals, 1 block. Those 3 have really kind of become you talk about JJ, Devin, and Dakota, and here lately it feels like it's been JJ, Devin, and Prince, and those any one of those combination of 3 when they're playing well, that's how you're going to be successful this year.
Yeah, I mean, they're the guys that kind of make us go. On the offensive end, I think, defensive end, we start with Chris Stevens. He does a good job of kind of neutralizing other team's best players. So, but when in the combination of those guys, when they got it rolling, it's going to be a pretty good game for us.
You also shout out, you mentioned CJ. He flirted with a double-double, 9 points, 9 rebounds, as well as Dakota Hillard, 8.6 rebounds and led the game in blocks with 4. So big defensive duo there for you in those 2. And then 4 points out of Fred Gray Jr., 3 out of Chaz Otis, and that's how you get to that 87-68 win. And then you fast forward to last night, Wednesday night. This one, fans are going to hear the score, and they may fake for a second. They may want to clear their ears out and make sure they hear us right. But you win this one 49-46 against Delgado. You go down there and really kind of struggled from the field. But your thoughts overall on, we were talking about it before we started the show, probably the worst game that you've had in your 4 years as a coach here, definitely the worst game you've had here, but knowing that you found a way to escape with a win, playing probably your worst basketball, it's got to feel okay as a coach.
Yeah, I kind of knew with Delgado, we played them here at home a couple weeks ago and, had a real one of our best games. And we were just talking as a staff and kind of, we knew it was going to be a struggle. I think I watched Britta's team do the same thing. They struggled with them. And I kind of knew it was coming. And so, but I had no idea we were going to miss so many shots, man. Layups, wide open shots, and, just to be able to find a way to win at the end. I think Keyshawn Shields was huge for us in the second half. JJ didn't have it going at all. He just seemed like he wasn't there, So, but it happens sometimes for a freshman point guard. And Keyshawn had his back, picked him up, went out there, gave him some great minutes. And, to be able to get that win, Prince hit a three. He struggled with his shot all game, and he was still confident enough to step up and knock that shot down. And I also give props to Devin for kicking that ball to him, when he could have possibly made a play at the rim. So, just to be able to figure out how to get that win is big. We always say, me and Britta both told each other last night, we'll take an ugly win over a pretty loss any day. So,
yeah, you look at the box score, and I told you before we started this, when I saw the halftime score, I kind of double-taked and triple-taked, and it took me a second to process this was the halftime score. It was 23-23 at halftime, both teams matching those points, and then 26-23 is how you outscored them. You mentioned it, Prince Ojukwu with that game-sealing three with less than 3 seconds left. So, a great moment for Prince. You look at the line score, Devin Bates led the way again, 19-14 with a double-double there. Only guy in double figures for you, led all scorers with that 19 as well, too. Prince was Keyshawn Shields was your second one. He had 10 points. Prince had 5. 4 points from Dakota, 4 points from Demarion Terry, 3 points from Fred Gray Jr., and then 2 points apiece from JJ and CJ. So a game where up and down you got contributions from everybody who played, but again, a game where if you shoot it better, it's seemingly not near as close as this scoreline says it was.
Yes, it's been weird, man, because even against Baton Rouge, I thought we missed maybe 7-8 layups to start the game. And, it's weird as a coach when you watch and you're seeing the things that you're drawing up kind of working and get guys in spots to make easy shots and they're not making them. And so you kind of got to just, feel your way through that. There's nothing that you can really do as a coach about that, but keep encouraging them, what I'm saying, and keep giving them opportunities, and at some point it'll kind of click. And I thought, we're probably about 9 minutes left in that game last night. We picked our energy up, able to get some stops on the press, and finally found their best player, and kind of, guarded him. So, but the guys were able to pull that win out. That's a big win for a team that I told them, in the huddle, the last huddle, I said, guys, y'all really deserve to lose this game. But it'd be great if you go find a way to win, and then they did just that. So, sometimes you're going to go out there, and like I say, your shot not going to fall. But we were able to, I thought defensively we were great. We were able to hold them under 50 points, which we always trying to do. That's always a great goal. So, the only other thing other than that, we just got to make layups and shots. So, but it was a good game.
So your guys are on a 5-game win streak. Ironically, both teams on 5-game win streaks right now. And you look ahead to your final game of this week, a chance to go 3-0, a chance to keep extending that win streak. You're going to play Southern Shreveport this Saturday. And we talked about it with Britta. The schedule's going to look a little bit different. Normally it's the girls first, and then the guys play. This Saturday it's going to be y'all get to play first, and then the girls are going to play. What are you expecting out of that kind of an atmosphere? I know it's a noon start, something that you're not always used to, but what are you expecting out of that bunch and out of the atmosphere for the fans for that game?
At this point, Kevin, I don't know what to expect. So, we may come out like we did against Delgado at home and shoot the lights out, And I've seen a team last night miss more shots than I thought was possible. So, somewhere in the middle would be nice, but like I said, we're just going to come out and play hard. And one good thing about it, I think we're doing a really good job on the glass, rebounding the ball. Devin is a big-time rebounder for a guard. And, Prince and CJ scraps down there. We got to get a little bit more rebound out of Dakota. But I think I think the Baton Rouge game, I think even Javian Watkins had 7 rebounds. So as long as we keep rebounding the ball, making good passes and sharing it, I think we'll be okay. But, should be a pretty good atmosphere. Southern Shreveport is always a tough team to play. They've already played some league teams. So, we're going to dig into that film and try to figure out what we can do to kind of help the guys.
Yeah, like to see the guys get up to about that, maybe that 45%-ish from the field instead of the 27% that you shot last night. Exactly. People will hear that and go, how do you shoot 27% and find a way to win the game? As you mentioned, sometimes you'd rather be lucky than good, and sometimes you'll take a ugly win over a pretty loss any day of the week. Exactly. So lots of good things happening for the guys. Again, they're on a 5-game win streak after winning 2 already this week. 87-68 on the road against Baton Rouge on Monday. 49-46 over Delgado Wednesday night. They'll host Southern Shreveport this Saturday. Both teams in action in Mullen on Saturday. Guys play first at 12. Girls follow at noon. Come out, support the 2 teams. If you can't make it, we will have it on stream for you this week. It will be our final broadcast of the season before we take our Christmas break and those kind of things. We'll have Coach join us next week to talk about that game, preview one more that they've got before the Christmas break as well. I'm Kevin Kyzar, Sports Information Coordinator here at Co-Lin. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next week.